flash, no, or the strobe light, no emergency flashers. Rick gets out, walks around, looks around, no vest. In case nobody here knows, OSHA, Occupational Safety Health, it's a requirement to wear a vest. There's 3 different requirements, class 3, class 1, and a class 2. Depends on the speeds, depends on the speed of the highway traffic. You know, we have Highway 71, we have 202, Highway 50, plus the city streets. This week alone, or last week, we had a city front end loader, from what I understand, it's a big front end loader, driving down the street, no brakes. Lucky nothing happened there. You know, we've had so many close calls. Rick Long says he's proud of the safety of Rocky Ford. Rocky Ford's lucky. Safety isn't about living and dying, it's about everyday things. You know, cuts, bruises, scratches. Last year, Rocky Ford spent what, $75,000, $80,000 repairing 2 pieces of equipment. Why? I don't know. These weren't proper instructions coming from the supervisors, from the manufacturers, what, I don't know. That's money he could have spent on something else. There's things going on in this town. You close the sidewalk over here. I researched that under CDOT. From what I can make out, there's no state code on the signs you put there. It's against the state law to barricade and block a public sidewalk. That's what was done over there. No warnings were given to the public. What's the reason for it? If it was legal, then maybe we can start blocking sidewalks in front of the El Capitan before it falls on somebody. Maybe we can block the sidewalk right over here across the street from the Grand Theater before that building falls on somebody. There's windows that are broke, glass dangling. Somebody walking by, it's gonna fall on them one of these days. Maybe we can close the sidewalk going over to the water department because there's so much gravel and loose rock, it's like walking on a sheet of ice on the sidewalk there. I mean, how are we gonna fix things here when the people leading the employees, you have good employees, but they're not being taught right or being supervised right? What's going on? People, I see, no seatbelts. Employees driving with lights on trailers. When I talk to city employees, trailer hasn't had lights in a while. They still tell them to use it. That should be coming from the supervisors, from your office. Put a stop to that. Start doing it right. Lead by example. I brought that up a month ago. Lead by example. Start doing your job as supervisors and supervising. Seeing these employees are done right, done fairly, and make sure they go home safe. You know, I mean, I'm tired of it just going around. City property I found on the street 2 weeks ago. It lay there for 4 days. Finally, I picked it up, what was left of it. I brought it over to the police department. Ring the bell. Nobody answered the door. Nobody answered the window. I go right across to the street department. This is the street light I'm talking about. City streets equipment laying on the street. I try to return it to them. They won't answer the door. What's going on here? I gotta bring it and give it to the ladies here.
Okay,
Yeah, I know my 3 minutes are up.
Thank you. Anybody else?
He says it looks fine. He's finishing it up. It doesn't have nearly the red flags in it that MSPS had when he started going through it. So we're just kind of waiting for Nathan to tell us that he's good with it, or if we need to make some changes with it. And that's all I have.
And we never signed the contract with MSPS.
No, correct. We never did. Larry?
Question on the server upgrade. Is it still this kind of where we're at, waiting on a response from Triad?
Correct. Yeah.
All right. I, like Shannon, was out of the country. Oh wait, I was in Iowa again. That's out of the country. Train ride's good. No report on the golf course. I have the golf meeting next Monday. And still no plans for the planning board commission. So not yet. Almost. Easy.
Dwayne?
A couple of things. One with CML, things that I saw in the newsletter that I thought was really important was Senate Bill 23105, and that was equal pay for equal work. So it's kind of a revision from the 2019, and it was really talking about the internal job postings for every job opportunity, and those are required. We're required to make a reasonable effort to provide notice to all current employees. So there was some language change from 2019 until this one, and then this one will go into effect in January. So I thought that was important to share. In between last meeting and now, we attended the R2 Chili Supper on the 27th. Mayor Jung and Chief McDonough saw them out there, so that was pretty well attended. Trunk or treat all around town. So, fire, police, Chamber of Commerce, rec department, and of course the school had things going on all over. Attended the Arkansas Valley Fairgrounds and Crystal Lake Steering Committee on November 1st. So that evening we got some updates on some of the grant applications that have been put out and kind of where we're at on some of the upcoming grants and some of the needs that we'll have there. We'll have a resolution coming to us soon that they'll be asking for our support on that, as well as the Otero County Commissioners and Crowley and kind of all the cities and towns around. November 7th, also with the Fairgrounds and Crystal Lake project, the Colorado Sun, it's a online newspaper, statewide online newspaper. They were doing a Southern Colorado tour, so they were over in Huerfano County looking at some projects going on over there, and then they came over here to look at the Arkansas Lake Fairgrounds and Crystal Lake project, and we're able to talk to the committee about how that project started, where we're at and what the vision for that is, and I think we'll be expecting an article on that coming out in the coming months. And then Arts Commission will meet in December. This week and for the next 2 weeks, it's going to be the Trolls Band Together. It's been, I guess, a challenge in getting movies because there just aren't a whole lot of new movies being released this year because of the strikes that have been ongoing earlier this year, and some of them still ongoing. So slim pickings on that. We've been having to play some older movies, and then the other movies that we do get, we're kind of second or third in line for some of those. So it's been a challenge on that. And then I think that's it. Happy Thanksgiving. You won't see everybody until after the holiday.
I don't really have anything. We will be taking a break from tree board for the winter. We'll get back in it come spring when we get ready to do our seed and plant swap around Mother's Day.
Okay, library board. We actually are meeting tomorrow, but I do have good news because she did get the roof fixed, and I believe Larry's donation was $3,000 from Alps.
2,000 from the Alps.
2,000 from the Alps, and then whatever it took to get the rest of it to get them to do the roof, it's all taken care of, and she's pretty excited about that since winter's coming.
However, the shingles need redone on the roof.
Yeah.
They've fixed it as far as the leak goes, but we do need to try to budget down the road that it does need new shingles, which is gonna run around $30,000 to replace.
So that's it, till I come back to the next meeting, because we'll have their meeting tomorrow night, so.
Nicole?
Haven't had a pension board meeting. We did have some tragedy happen at Chamber of Commerce. We lost Peggy Meyer a couple weeks ago on Friday. So we've had a little bit of a shakeup there. We will have an emergency meeting on Thursday to see how we continue to move forward. Other than that, that's all we've got going on over there.
Museum board met a couple weeks ago. We believe at that time they had the money to submit for their 501(c),
We have it.
and now they have it. Okay, good. So now, also they wanted to make sure that they thank Mario Valdez for working hard on getting some of the windows frames painted, and also thanks to Ray for the scissor lift that they were able to get there. So I know that Rob and a couple other people were gonna continue on and try to paint some other stuff that was closer to the ground.
Got an update. B&H is going to come over on the 20th with a boom, with one of their booms, and so that we can paint the back windows that are hanging over a staircase.
Okay.
And so that'll be happening on the 20th of this month. So that'll be the last of the windows that we need.
So the museum board and Rob's effort to try to spiff things up over there, they were able to get a donation from Cummings Carpets. They had a bunch of carpet units that they were able to put in their museum cases and on their bookshelves. That kind of really spruce the place up a little bit. Rob does a great job, so does the rest of the museum board on these United Museums. So if you guys get a chance to go out and see, they always have an interesting speaker or two. The last one was attended by Mr. Red, I want to get it right, Red Sleeves, yeah. I was going to say that, but then I thought that didn't sound right. And then I guess he did a talk about his, his history and stuff like that. So it was turned out really well. I believe the next one, isn't it going to be on a new species of dinosaur?
That's been found in the thicket.
Yeah. So if you guys get a chance, get out there and see that. Other than that, I think that's it for me.
Mayor, can we postpone your report for a little bit later?
Sure.
We have some people running behind schedule.
All right, thank you. Are there any changes to the agenda and/or consent agenda at this time? The consent agenda is contained in the meeting agenda. The consent agenda is designated to assist making the meeting shorter and more efficient. Items left on the consent agenda may not be discussed when the consent agenda comes before the council, but any council member wishes to discuss a consent agenda item, please tell me now, and I will remove it from the consent agenda and place it in the appropriate place on the meeting agenda so it can be discussed. When that item is taken up by the council, does any council member request removal of a consent agenda item?
I do not request a removal of the consent agenda, but I would like to add the hospice proclamation at new business of 8.4, please.
A motion to approve the agenda and the consent agenda?
I'll make a motion that we approve 6.1, which is the meetings for last meeting of October 24th, 6.2 for the renewal of marijuana license for Rocky's Best, 6.3 for the Colorado Beer and Wine, renewal of the Colorado Beer and Wine license for the Elks Lodge at Rocky Ford Elks, 6.4 the retail license for fermented malt liquor for Taqueria Restaurant.
I second.
Call for the vote.
Herrera,
Yes.
Gurule,
Yes.
Cordova,
Yes.
Roberts.
Yes.
Kerr,
Yes.
Martinez,
Yes.
Mayor John.
Yes. So now I'm going to close the meeting, the Rocky Ford Council meeting, and open it for a public hearing. It is 7:15. I, Susan Junn, Mayor of the City of Rocky Ford, serving as the presiding officer of the hearing. And the public hearing is for the Post Award. The purpose of the hearing is to allow citizens to review and comment on the performance of the City of Rocky Ford in carrying out their Rocky Ford Medical Clinic renovation, which was financed with federal community development block grant funds provided by the state of Colorado. Is there anybody that wants to comment for or against? Hearing none, I close the hearing and we'll go back to the meeting.
7:17. So, old business, we have the budget update, and Kyle, if you just wanna come up and just say a couple little words. So you guys did get a paper copy from Kyle that he just printed recently. I emailed you a copy earlier today. However, it is not the same format that Kyle has for you. His is different. The one you got is out of ADG. It's just, a little bit different. I'm happy.
This is the second pass of our budget. We've made some significant strides since the first presentation. I think we were just somewhere around $1 million in a deficit on the first pass. We've gone back with Shannon and I have met with all the department heads, made some significant cuts, and we still have more to do. I think right now we're somewhere into right around $90,000 for the 2024 budget. It's a lot to go over, and you know, at my door or my phone, please call me if you have any questions about it. Dwayne contacted me last week with some questions. I hope I answered the questions correctly. But what's submitted is in the large paper form is the general fund, which is the biggest concern, which handles the police, fire, all of our departments under the general fund. The 3 enterprise funds typically are not a worry, and I have not done as much work on them, but we have done a first pass on them, and represents that. So if anybody has any questions, I'd ask.
We'll get to reading on it.
Yeah, it'll put you straight to sleep, I promise you. Yeah.
And at any point, you can call myself or Kyle with questions, or you can come in and
Yeah, absolutely.
ask or whatever.
It's still a work in progress, and we hope to have it closer to final by the end of the month.
So where do you see we're losing the most money? Like, I know the meters that weren't being read is where we needed to gain some more revenue.
Well, that goes under the water fund, which still.
The water fund makes good money.
Yeah, it's still working in the black, and that's not a major concern. I mean, obviously, any expenditures that we feel are extravagant or need to be looked at, then we will take a look at.
So when we start getting grants, I know Marty Lee's already working on grants, and when we start getting those, that'll start making the red go a little further down from.
Well, you hope, but you can't really budget for a grant.
For grants, that's
right. I mean, the only 2 grants that I even have in the budget are a website development grant and the library grant, which has been recurring to the point where I feel that it's going to recur. Other than that, I did not budget anything. Hopefully, we do have some more grant revenue coming in. Also, as we did with First Pass, the revenues, I've lowballed them. I hope and I think we will be higher than what I actually am on. And if you know, as far as the budget goes, the bottom line for the revenues is on page 4, which puts us, you know, just 2.6% above what we were last year for the previous year. The expenses have been, you know, more than that. So, you know, that's where we're trying to, you know, we'd love to have more revenue, and that's things that we need to work on, and, you know, anybody that can come up with, you know, plans for more revenue, that's obviously welcome.
So just to give a little bit of background, a few of the things that we've had issues with is, obviously we weren't able to give any of the employees any raises during 2023 because where the finances were, we weren't sure where we were at. So we didn't give any raises. So we really want to make sure that we're giving raises accordingly to our employees. With that being said, we definitely are still not where we need to be. I know we're losing dispatchers to Lahana because we're not paying as much as they are. We continue to battle that. And again, we have to weigh it. Are we wanting to pay our people, our employees good, and keep them around? And then we have to cut other places, or how that works. Another big thing, as you all know, the AG's office has been in contact, and we've got to spend some money in the police department doing those kind of things. And yes, we do have, you know, open spots for a sergeant and another police officer and hopefully a new admin person, but all those things cost money, which then take money from security systems and new door locks. And so we're just trying to figure out what makes the most sense, juggling everything, and trying to prioritize where the things need to go.
Yeah, Shannon's absolutely right. The biggest thing that I see is our revenues are stagnant, whereas our expenditures go up from year to year. It costs more. You know, you guys met with the health provider today. You know, everything has gone up, especially over the last 2 years with inflation the way it is. And if if we don't pay a fair wage to our employees, we won't have them. You know, it is what it is. Figure out, think out the box, however you want to put it, you know, ways to get our revenues to match our expenses.
JR?
I had to know this, but final adoption date for the final budget.
We don't have to have it until
End of December.
December.
I think it's
Second
December
meeting in
15th.
December.
We'll have it the first meeting in December.
First meeting. Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you.
So do I have a motion to accept the employee benefits that they presented so that Shannon can have them presented to the employees?
I know I arrived late at the meeting, but I'll make the motion because it looks like we're going to pay the same thing, if not lower than what we paid last year. So it's actually a really good health care benefit for our employees. So I make the motion that we approve the health care benefits that they presented us today for the employees of the city of Rocky Ford.
I'll second.
Questions now?
Well, my question is,
Discussions.
I want to talk about that mental health portion.
Okay.
I personally think that would be a great benefit.
To add in addition to?
Yes, to add in addition to.
Did you have a recommendation on plan A or B?
I say A.
I think I was gonna say A.
I would
feel
like
like
to
it-
see that. I know money's tight, but I think if we're saving somebody's life by helping with mental health, the $10 a month is worth.
And with the mental health struggle that we've got nationwide,
Yes, I agree.
I think offering that to our employees is beyond needed, and a great offering for them.
So I'll make a motion to amend this motion to include the employer-paid mental health benefit plan A.
Okay.
I'll second that.
Any more discussion? Call for the vote.
Gurley,
Yes?
Cordova,
Yes.
Roberts.
Yes.
Kerr,
Yes.
Martinez,
Yes.
Herrera,
Yes.
Mayor John.
Yes.
Okay. Now we have Mr. Zach Gardner.
Sheriff Sean Mobley and Under Sheriff Matt Williams, please come forward. There was an incident in Rocky Ford on August 30th, 2023. And Matt, you were in Rocky Ford at the right place at the right time. And you and Carol answered the call. And you had a positive result of that call. It's my pleasure tonight to present Matt and Carol, or have presented to Matt and Carol, the life-saving certificate and medal. But before that, on behalf of myself as mayor and the city manager, Shannon Wallace, I want to present you with a little something to just let you know how much we appreciate the fact that the two of you are willing to cross the line, and we have an Otero County Sheriff and a Rocky Ford policeman willing to work with each other. These little things aren't much for the fact that you answered this call and you used all of your training and expertise to come to a positive conclusion, but it says, just doing my job. And I felt like if I asked either one of you what you were doing that night, you would have said, just doing my job. So when you're in Rocky Ford with your other policemen, or whether you're out in the field with other policing entities, will you please remember, just doing my job. So Sean, will you make a presentation to Carol, please? This is hers.
to add some information to the reason that we're here today, it was the 31st of October, I believe. August, my apologies, 31st of August at 3:46 p.m. we got the call. I was with Under Sheriff Wallace at the time. The call came in, I couldn't keep up with him, he was gone. And Captain Coates was already out on the road patrolling Rocky Ford. They were both on scene within 2 minutes, and they both dived in together and performed life-saving first aid to a lady who'd been stabbed multiple times, and without their intervention most likely would have died from her injuries. And that's the reasoning behind the life-saving awards that we're giving out today. Captain Coates, you've got, let's do it in order here. I'll pull it out of here because it looks more impressive out of the box. And everybody wants to see it. So the award here. You got it?
You got it?
All right. Thank you. And then we have the medal for your uniform, which is back to front in the bag, but this guy's in uniform here. We have this here. There you go.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And thank you. Do that. And I'll turn it over to Sheriff Moakley to present Under Sheriff Wallace with his.
So Under Sheriff Wallace, he and I worked together for a long time, even on a PD before we were at the sheriff's office. And he was already the most courageous guy I've ever met, and that has just continued. This is like the 4th or 5th, I think, life-saving award that he's earned just at this agency. And life-saving award isn't written just for, or given just for writing like seatbelt tickets or something like that. It is truly going above and beyond and doing everything you can to save a life and making a difference. And I'm honored to present him. We'll start with the medal this time. Once again. John. Sorry. And of course, his life-saving award. I'm clumsy, I'll drop it. There you go. Thank you, sir. And thank you all for your time tonight.
I wrote a little something for you guys before we show you what we got for you over here. Hello, my name is Zach Gardner. I'm joined here tonight with other members of the community to express our appreciation for the Rocky Ford Police Department. First responders face incredible challenges to keep our community safe. Unless you have a friend or a family member in uniform, you may not think about the police all that often until you really need them, or you're getting a speeding ticket. That's unfortunate because even though you don't interact with them every day, they're out on the job day and night protecting us and staying ready to respond to emergency calls. When officers take their oath to serve, they are embarking on a career where they are prepared to make the ultimate sacrifice for the better good of their community. It is almost a thankless job, but not for us and not today. In honor of our men and women in law enforcement and serve this community, we dedicate this statue that represents your protective eye over this small town and our gratefulness for your sacrifice. Thank you for all that you do.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Well, that's very impressive.
This is what I bugged you for, so
I'm gonna move into the frame.
Yeah, go right
Books on
ahead.
Amazon? No, this is really, that's
Thank you, Mr. Gardner.
Thank
We
you, sir.
appreciate that.
Hands off.
step away from the eagle, sir.
I got a spot for that.
I bet you do.
Thank you. That's much appreciated.
Yes.
agenda is the announcement of the Baglin and Rocky Ford gift shares.
This is about the time of year that we kind of put this out last year. I just wanted to see if that's the route that you guys wanted to go again this year. You want to put the thing in the newspaper and see what we get, or how you wanted to proceed with. I assumed that we would do the same thing, but I just wanted to make sure that that's where you guys wanted to go.
Is that the same amount we had last year?
Yeah.
5.6 at Rocky Ford Canal and 179 at Catman?
Correct. And we'll just do a closed bid for end of business on like December, before the December meeting. And then you guys can open them at the December meeting.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do we need to vote on that, or?
Yeah, please.
I make a motion that we make the announcement of the Catlin and Rocky Ford ditch shares for a closed bid.
A second.
Any more discussion? Call for the vote.
Cordova,
Yes.
Roberts,
Yes.
Kerr,
Yes.
Martinez,
Yes.
Herrera,
Yes.
Gurley,
Yes.
Mayor John.
Yes.
Do you want me to go ahead and read the hospice proclamation, or is somebody here that wants to read it?
You can read
Okay. The Arkansas Valley Hospice, Inc. Hospice Proclamation. Whereas it is the mission of the Arkansas Valley Hospice, Inc. to support people in the final phases of life, comfort the grieving, and educate the community about end-of-life care since 1985. Whereas the provision of quality hospice and palliative care reaffirm the belief in the essential dignity of every person, regardless of age, health, social status, citizenship, race, or religion, and then every stage of human life deserves to be treated with the utmost respect and care. Whereas the Arkansas Valley Hospice Inc. team offers the highest quality service and support to patients, family, and caregivers facing terminal and chronic illnesses. Skilled and compassionate hospice and palliative care professionals, including physicians, nurses, social workers, health aides, and clergy, provide comprehensive care focused on the wishes of patients, their family members, and loved ones. Whereas beyond providing physical treatment, Arkansas Valley Hospice Inc. attends to the patient's emotional, spiritual, and family needs, and provides family services like respite care and bereavement counseling. Whereas Arkansas Valley Hospice Inc. have pledged to put patients first in all of its programs, including hospice, ensuring a coordinated and patient-led approach to care, protecting patient choice and access to individualized services based on a patient-unique care, needs, and wishes, increased quality of life for patients and family caregivers. Whereas through pain management and symptom control, caregiver training and assistance, and emotional and spiritual support, allowing patients to live fully up until the final moments, surrounded and supported by the faces of loved ones, friends, and committed caregivers. Whereas every year, individuals living with terminal and chronic illness, their families and loved ones receive care from Arkansas Valley Hospice Inc.'s programs in the communities of Lahana, Rocky Ford, Fowler, Manzanola, Swink, Ordway, Olney Springs, Crowley, Sugar City, Los Animas, Arlington, Haswell, Cheraw, Hasty, Avondale, Boone, and Kim. Whereas Arkansas Valley Hospice Inc. is a nonprofit organization, funding from donations from the community members, support client care, which allows services to be provided at no charge for the client. Arkansas Valley Hospice Inc. is the local hospice where donations remain in our community. Whereas Arkansas Valley Hospice Inc. volunteers, assists with the needs of those living with terminal and chronic illnesses and that of their families and loved ones. Whereas hospice and palliative care providers of the Arkansas Valley Hospice Inc. encourage all people to learn more about options of care and to share their wishes with family, loved ones, and their healthcare professionals. I, Shannon Wallace, but it will be Mayor Jung, proclaim November 2023 as Hospice and Palliative Care Month. I call upon the citizens of Rocky Ford, Colorado to join Arkansas Valley Hospice to increase their understanding and awareness of hospice and palliative care, and to observe this month with appropriate activities and programs.
Go down to the picture.
Okay.
Now, somebody hold it up so that we can see that it's his part. Okay. Oh, let's see if I turn it on.
Let's do one.
No, they're,
Thank you.
thank you.
Did you get a little-
Thank you, Chris.
And Mayor Jung, you'll just need a motion for them to say that authorize you to sign the proclamation.
I make a motion that we authorize Susan to sign the hospice and palliative care fund proclamation.
Second.
Call for the vote.
Yes.
Yes.
Roberts.
Yes.
Kerr.
Yes.
Martinez.
Yes.
Herrera.
Yes.
Gurule.
Yes.
Cordova.
Yes.
Mayor John.
Yes.
Public
Have a-
comment.
A little one, I'll put, we did spend $2,500 for Halloween for the kids. I don't know if you've seen Jane out there in front of the fire department. Thanks, Ray, for helping her. But we did spend $2,500 there, and we've got $3,500. I believe the meeting's going on right now over at the Elks Lodge, but I've got $3,500 that we're gonna spend on gifts for the kids, and I believe that's gonna be December the 10th. So young kids, older
Is that
kids.
gonna be separate from the one at the theater?
Yes, we do one at the Elks Lodge, and it's all for kids in there, and it will be gifts and food and probably more popcorn, because I bought an excess amount of popcorn stuff, so $3,500 goes to that one, so those grants are coming in, so.
Good job, Larry.
We'll
Thank
spend
you,
them.
Larry. Appreciate it.
You did awesome.
Chris, just so you know, I'm not all about negativism. I did have recent contact with one of your employees from the water department. Very pleasant young man, about 6'1", mustache, I don't know his name, lives in Ordway. Above and beyond the Call of Duty with him, he's seen water coming down the street. He stopped, checked it out. He thought it might have been a water leak. He did things he didn't have to do. Very good job. I shook his hand, thanked him, letting you guys know. I forgot the name, I'm sorry, but way above and beyond.
His name's
From
Cody,
Ordway?
Cody Baylor.
Cody, yeah, he did it, I mean, he knew me, he knew it was my house coming from, I was draining my pool. And he was just concerned it might have been a leak, and I told him, you know, I appreciate him looking out after that.
Thank
So,
you.
good job, you do have good employees.
Thank you.
Thanks, Robert.
Motion to adjourn?
Yes.
Oh, I was gonna just give a quick update from using
Oh.
board. I don't remember if I've said this yet to you guys, but we did did I tell you about an architect coming out? And we found out what's wrong with the building was not anything to do with the canal, it doesn't appear. And it's something with the roof and drainage coming off. We actually had a rainstorm the day they came, thank God, because when we were first looking at it, it wasn't obvious, but when it started pouring rain, we had a waterfall coming off the back of the building. And you can see on the back of the building damage that's been happening to it for a number of years, apparently. And also coming into the building, which is where we have that floor downstairs, which is soft and has a hole and the wood's rotting. Also the fireplace water's coming in through there. And there's you can even see bricks and things outside that have curved out of the building, so there's some significant damage. It appears to be water related. And so we're looking at probably applying for a grant to go to really in-depth analyze that, because they want to do ground testing and things to see if the drains that are put in, if the system that drains from the roof is working properly. There's all kinds of things that they need to look at. So that's our first step at this point. So I just wanted to kind of update you where we're at. Even the canal at all, that the company that came and looked at the foundation was obviously, that probably wasn't the problem at all. So thankfully we didn't follow that route, we went this way instead. So I just wanted you to know the update on that. And we did get our 501c3 approved, which also includes the tree board as well. We've kind of combined them both. So just to let you know that.
Awesome.